mother is Irish. She looks very much like all of you. Funny enough, when people look at me, they only see a black man. But what they really see is the heart of an Irishman. And I've watched the last few years in this country as the government have ridden roughshod over the entire country with some experimental plan to replace the Irish people, because that's a word they don't want you to use. But that's exactly what we're experiencing here. You don't think for 1 minute, Ireland has never been unwelcoming. Céad Míle Fáilte Euro. The problem is it's wearing a bit thin. And when I was a child, we sent money to Africa. We were one of the most generous nations during Live Aid. We never shirked from looking after people. But you know what? Our compassion has been weaponized. It was done by the church years ago when they realized if you were a good person, you wouldn't want to be called a bad person. And now, if you want to feel safe in your community, you're a racist. If you want to feel that it's okay for your daughters to walk out, to go and walk the dog late at night, you're xenophobic. They've got all these wonderful words. And in the process of words, another thing I've noticed is they've got all these different words for the new arrivals. They call them international protection applicants. They call them asylum seekers. They call them welfare tourists. The real name for these people is guests of the government. These people are here because they have been invited to Ireland and they've been promised, as this lovely lady said, they've been promised own-door accommodation, medical cards, help with transport. Who wouldn't come to Ireland? And all of you are supposed to stand back and be quiet and take it as it's dished out to you. Well, it's obvious at this stage, if you look at the polls that are coming out in the papers now, and I want anybody who's thinking about voting for any established party to understand, you're voting for more of the same. Because they are not going to turn this back. And you know, we now have a situation where the media have all gotten together with the politicians. We're on the outside throwing stones over the wall and they're calling us names. Well, you know what? It won't hurt you. Let them call you names, because that is the weakest form of intimidation, to try to shut somebody down from having an opinion and from caring about their community. There's a thing I want to mention to you all here, and it's important because in Dublin I had noticed over the years, or certainly over the last few years, there seemed to be an awful lot of incidences which involve mental illness. And I thought, this is odd, surely there's not that many crazy people coming to Ireland. And then I noticed that all the beggars were coming from Romania, and I thought, wow, that's a coincidence, all coming from Romania. And the more I looked into it, what I discovered, and you can look this up for yourself because it's a fact. In 1980, in America, they had given so much rhetoric to the Cubans in Cuba about how wonderful America was, that you want to come to America, we will give you freedom, we will give you liberty, we will give you everything. And Fidel Castro, being the cute little who he was, who did he send? Did he send doctors? Did he send nurses? No. He emptied the mental hospitals, he emptied the prisons, and he sent the whole bloody lot of them, and they destroyed the country. So you might want to know, why are we getting such a high percentage of incidences with people who are obviously mentally unstable? And it appears to me that our government are either too stupid or that this is their intention, is to create chaos, because once you create chaos, the boot coming down is the only answer. And you're watching.
Yeah.
You're watching.
Yeah.
What we're seeing here, and in Donegal, and in Galway, and all across, this is not a mirage. This is not a coincidence. They have made a decision.